What's up, everybody? This is Chris Surratt bringing you another edition of the Car Concierge Show Weekend Review. On today's show, we're going to check into some sports and check out Anthony Joshua as he gets into a bout with Daniel Dubois over at Wembley in London, England. We're also going to check out the whole P. Diddy situation. We're going to check out a video about that and, you know, give our little 2 cents about it as much as we can. Really don't want to, but we have to. And last but not least, we're going to check out a plethora of CEOs that have been stepping down over the last couple of months. Just like the plethora of CEOs that were stepping down in the automotive industry a couple months back. So, let's jump right in. So there was a very, very interesting bout yesterday. A very interesting set of fights over in Wembley in London, England. But the main card was our friend Anthony Joshua against Daniel Dubois. Dubois. Got to get the name right, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, and it was a great fight, you know, but it didn't last very long. Really thought that Anthony Joshua was going to come in and dominate, but nobody really knew very much about Daniel Dubois, and he came and told y'all he was that thing. He wasn't going to just get beat up by Anthony Joshua on this day, so. Let's check out some highlights real quick if we can. You know how these things are. These might turn into just still shots, but I'm going to try it in video form for now. Let's check it out.
Anthony, I spoke you both in the dressing room. You know what I expect out of professionals at all times. Obey my instructions and what's it. Any questions? Let's go to work.
Just push him with that jab there, Josh. You're not really finding off.
Good uppercut from AJ. Yeah, as you was asking for, Barry, starting to faint a little bit more now. Anthony Joshua.
Wait for that haymaker.
Trying to make that decent, right?
Huge
Wembley.
Look at Dubois creeping forward. The legs are
Joshua
unsteady.
looks hurt.
They can't even hit the
Whip his ass a little bit.
It is chaos in Wembley. Incredible start for Daniel Dubois. Huge overhand right.
Do the right thing here, Dubois. Just keeping the pressure on. Joshua's got to give us something to think about here.
Caught him again. He's lining him up.
That body shot was very important. That body shot just combobulated.
This is incredible stuff. Daniel Dubois fighting like a pro. Dubois may not want to let this moment pass him by. He's got him again in trouble. There they go. Needs to step in with a big. The lights are gone again. His gloves touch the ground. The referee didn't do anything about it. He's done it again. They'll call that a knockdown. Joshua's been down twice! These are remarkable scenes, incredible stuff.
Oh, good shot from Dubois, straight away with the jab.
Like that, the bout is over. You know, and it was a great fight. Really thought Anthony Joshua was going to come out on top, but Daniel Dubois shocked the world a little bit. We didn't, know foreseeing that it wasn't a betting favorite. So if you did bet with Daniel Dubois, you probably won big. You know, great fight, great bout. Held over at Wembley. So, very nice, very nice. All right, let's keep moving. Now let's jump into it. I've avoided this all week. You know, I planned, from almost every other day I was telling myself, I should do something about the P. Diddy thing, and new stuff kept coming out, and 1,000 bottles of baby oil, and the videotapes is going to start coming out, and all these suspect interviews they've done, and him talking about the freak-offs, and, which gets me to realize that in some degree, he didn't think that what he was doing was wrong per se. And that's going to be a big thing for me as we talk about this, because, it happened, most of this stuff happened so long ago, and then we're talking about consent and how old people were at the time. And it's just it's just a smoke screen. But let's look at this indictment thing real quick. You know what I'm saying? And we'll talk about it for a second, I guess.
What up, guys? It's your boy Quake, and Diddy is finally locked up. The diddler is gone. We are all safe. We can all unclench our you-know-whats. Because, man, he was running out here rampant as the Joker, threatening all kinds of things and bombing things, which we'll talk about a little bit later because it's been confirmed, that Kid Cudi's car actually was bombed, which is insane. And a lot of information has come out, and the feds have done their due diligence. This is diligent, insanely diligent work by the feds. After the raids, we knew it was a matter of time when Diddy would finally get locked up. So let's go over how he got locked up. Let's go over what the feds released in their documents. And then let's go over what to expect moving forward. What kind of time is he facing? How can he potentially get out of this? So on and so forth. Let's talk about first how he got locked up. Diddy was taken by the feds, and it was reported by TMZ exclusively on Monday night in NYC. This was on September 16th. This is what they initially reported. They said Diddy was just arrested and taken to federal custody in New York Monday night, TMZ has learned. Sources tell TMZ Homeland Security swooped into a Midtown hotel late Monday where Diddy was staying, and they arrested him. We have unconfirmed reports. The feds are searching his hotel room.
Can anybody explain to me why Homeland Security is the ones who swooped into a Midtown hotel and got him? I mean, Homeland Security ain't got better things to do than worry about this one black man that was getting his freak on? Yeah, this seems weird to me.
We're told Diddy was taken to the federal building in Lower Manhattan. Then they updated the report that Monday night and said a law enforcement source tells TMZ Diddy's arrest was scheduled for Tuesday, but something happened that caused the feds to move in a day earlier. However, U.S. Attorney Damian Williams says federal agents took him in based on a sealed indictment filed by the Southern District of New York. Then they did another update just a couple hours before Diddy got busted. He was confidently strolling around NYC with his son, King Combs. He even stopped to greet some fans and take selfies. So he was scheduled. He actually showed up to New York City and willingly said, hey, you guys can lock me up. Like, I'm not running. I'm not fleeing. Take me in. They had scheduled for Tuesday, but of course the feds are never going to go on the scheduled time. They're always going to mess around with you and go in earlier. Always. It's not going to be later, but they'll go in earlier and get you just in case you decide to have second thoughts and flee. And Diddy's damn near a billionaire, so of course just hire, you just get a private jet and dip out of here, and we'll never see him again. So luckily he turned himself in. The feds got him, and now he's officially locked up. This was blasted on Monday night. Tuesday is where we got the indictment documents. And the feds decided to talk about what they got in the raids, why they arrested him, so on and so forth. So let's go over those documents. It's about 14 pages. So I'm not going to go over every single detail because a lot of the stuff that you guys have heard, you guys already heard throughout multiple videos and just reports all over of the Cassie lawsuit, that alleged abuse and stuff like that. But I will go over a lot of the stuff. The documents say United States of America versus Sean Combs, a.k.a. Puff Daddy, a.k.a. P. Diddy, a.k.a. Diddy, a.k.a. PD, and a.k.a. Love. So they do mention every single one of his names, just to clarify that, this is the Diddy we're talking about. The overview starts out saying the defendant abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so, Combs relied on the employees' resources and influence of multifaceted business empires that led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, and other crimes: sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. In the second sentence, they say Sean Combs, aka all that stuff, the defendant operated his business headquartered at various times in Manhattan and Los Angeles. So the fact that this is things that people accuse him in New York and in California makes it a federal case. If this just happened in New York, if the accusations only happened in New York, this would be a state situation and not a federal situation, because the feds is what covers everything in the United States. Continuing on, under a variety of United States-based corporate entities, including Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprise, and Combs Global, collectively the Combs business. Corporate entities in the Combs business included, among other things, record labels, a recording studio, an apparel line, an alcoholic spirits business, a marketing agency, and a television network and media company. At all times relevant to this indictment, Sean Combs, the defendant, engaged in persistent and persuasive pattern of abuse towards women and other individuals. This abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. As part of his pattern of abuse, Combs manipulated women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of sexual activity with male commercial sex workers. At times, Combs and others, acting at his discretion, made arrangements for women and commercial sex workers to fly to Combs' location. Combs ensured participation from the women, among other things, obtaining and distributing narcotics to them, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support, and threatening to cut off the same and using intimidation and violence. They're saying here that Diddy used his star power, which we've heard millions of times, to do all this.
First thing I'm going to say is you could have said no. And I know that's a horrible take, but you could have said no. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about consent. We're talking about years and years of consent. You know, he threatened you with something, you say no. You know, but you wanted to continue the lifestyle that you was living. You wanted to continue to be whoever you were. You wanted to continue to progress to whatever the direction that you were progressing. But you could have said no. And now you're getting payback. Most of these people are just getting payback. They already long ago accepted that this happened to them, and they've already tried to move on. But now they're trying to bring it back up so they could probably, in most cases, go for some financial gain from it. It's just. Let's watch a little bit more of this. We're going to talk about it.
Promised females or males careers in whatever they wanted to do, whether it was management, whether it was music, whatever it was. He promised them the careers, which a lot of the lawsuits say that. And a lot of people have heard the same thing from R. Kelly. You're going to notice a lot of this stuff. If you're not aware of R. Kelly's case, this is a lot of the same stuff that they got R. Kelly under. And where's R. Kelly right now? In prison, rotting away. So this is the exact same thing,
Exactly.
Just at a, of course, higher level, because R. Kelly isn't nearly as rich as Diddy and nearly as big as Diddy is. Continuing on, physical abuse by Sean Combs, the defendant, was reoccurrent and widely known. On numerous occasions from at least in or about 2009 and continuing for years, Combs assaulted women by, among other things, like striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects at, and kicking them. These assaults were at times witnessed by others and included one instance at a Los Angeles hotel in or about March 2016, which was captured on video and later publicly reported, where Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a woman as she was attempting to leave. When a member of the hotel security staff intervened, Combs attempted to bribe the staff member to ensure silence. Combs' violence was also not limited to these women. It extended to his employees, witnesses to his abuse, and others. So this is why it's a RICO, right? They're saying that, hey, he used the funds of his businesses to operate this whole thing of having these freak-off parties and paying off people. That if people saw things or if people wanted to report things, he would pay them. But the feds aren't just going to go after Diddy in this case. They are vehemently saying that they're going to go after the people that complied with him. From employees, to security, to staff members, whoever played a role in this and didn't come forward with this information are going down with Diddy, which I applaud the feds for, because a lot of these people were bribed and pretended like they never heard anything or saw anything because Diddy was just paying them and giving them, benefits to not report things to him. And the only reason they got that Cassie footage is from the house raid. Diddy is someone that you'll see as I read on, likes to keep all the stuff he's done. And that's usually typical of abusers, to have their evidence. They like that.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna stop there. So, it's whew, it's so multi-level, this whole situation, the whole P Diddy situation. First off, he is obviously a sexual deviant, and the whole fact that he's a sexual deviant is going to be used against him. He seems, as it has gone on, it seems that he has been a monster for quite some time when it comes to abusing people and women in particular. I believe, there's evidence of it, so we know that to some degree is true. But I do know that this is just a kind of, it's an attack on him for more than just him being a bad guy. You know what I mean? It's a financial attack. It's a power position attack because we know that he was trying to make some power moves. I believe that what 50 Cent said was true when he was talking about how the whole situation that Combs had with the liquor company that he worked with, Cyrock or whatever, and how he made those people feel uncomfortable. So this is something that is occurring partially because of that. I think that it also has something to do with, just the natural attack on black men, as it were, to bring black men down to some degree, just to some degree, it is just one of those situations where when it is a black man in a major, powerful position that you can bring down in some glorious way and make it seem that it puts a horrible light on black men. That's what I'm talking about. All I'm saying is that, these situations purposefully put a horrible light on black men. It paints them as sexual deviants. It paints them that people, once they get in a position of power, that they start abusing it, so it's a horrible indictment on men in general. And the real problem is that, to some degree, I don't want to say it was normal, but it was accepted. We have to understand that this whole situation wouldn't have gotten this far if it was so many people that were accepting it. It doesn't make it right. I'm not saying that makes it right, but the whole fact that you allowed this to happen and accepted that it was happening and turned a blind eye to it is how it got to this point, and why so many people probably are going to go down because of this. Just like the dude just said, and we're going to have to figure out who this cat is. So many people are going to go down for this. They, in the indictment, they said they're going to go after so many people, and the people that are going to get in trouble for this, in some way, shape, or form, honestly don't really feel like they did anything wrong, because they probably feel like it was something that just happens when you are around rich, powerful people, and that is true. Back in the day, rich and powerful people got away with this shit. I saw another article talking about how, who was it? One of the people from Making the Band was saying that this whole thing was just Diddy doing what other powerful executives above him did, and it's just a natural line of succession of how people in power like that operate. And it's just the devil. Not the devil. It's evil. It's just evil. It's just, power corrupts. And these people had, ultimate power corrupts, and ultimate power corrupts. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And once you get into a position of absolute power, if you don't have a really good moral high ground, then you're going to be susceptible to this kind of corruption. And P. Diddy was. We know Russell Simmons probably was too. That's why he, wherever the fuck he is, excuse my language. And that's probably where P. Diddy should have ran off to before his punk butt got caught. Because it's just, it's bad for everybody. We're it's like the R. Kelly situation. I mean, now that R. Kelly is, and like old boy said, this is almost exactly like the RICO case against R. Kelly. It's along the same baselines, and it's just a situation where somebody who was iconic to the black community, black congregation, as it were, is taken down and destroyed to the point where you have to question if you can even listen to their music anymore. Their music's not being played as much as it used to be. Their music is not looked at as iconic the way we looked at it before, and it's destroying parts of us. It's destroying parts of us. I mean, R. Kelly music is a part of our lives. P. Diddy music is a part of our lives. And with this type of thing, we lose that part of our life. We have to question it. We have to look at it, back at it. We have to look at how it must have been wrong for us to do it. And it's hard. It's disheartening. It's disheartening that, these icons are put on these high pedestals in front of us only to be destroyed by their own doing. And for me, it just harkens back to the whole idea of, of selling your soul, and that once you sell your soul, that comes through eventually. I really think a lot of these people sold their souls, and the debt is coming due. It seems kind of, in a crazy way, kind of obvious. You live these beautiful lives for so long, for so many years, doing whatever you wanted, being whoever you wanted, going from place to place, just enjoying life, and with obviously no consequence. And then eventually at the end, consequence occurs, and it's a horrible consequence. I mean, this dude was like 2 years ago, he got the key to New York, and now that dude in federal jail, locked up, being monitored under suicide watch, like he gonna kill himself, just because they know they gonna Epstein his ass. They gonna Epstein his fool. If they don't, then the whole portion of the world is going down. The whole portion of the world is going down. You think about the people that were some of these freak offs. Think about the cameras that, even back then, he had the money to have some of the decent camera, recording equipment. He got stuff on stuff, people on people. He dealt with everybody. How did he become king in New York without dealing with everybody? I mean, it's going to be so much evidence that comes forward. So many people are going to come down. Everybody. I mean, I'm not just talking about black people, everybody, white people. It's going to get into our last story. Man, it's bad. It's bad, poor guy's deal with the devil came through, and the devil was going to destroy his name before he killed him. Because his name is destroyed, his family's name is destroyed. Everybody's connected to him is going to be destroyed by this. All because he was getting crazy booty. Crazy booty. 1,000 bottles of lube. Come on, bro. That's, man. I mean, hey, we used to have do the baby oil wrestling thing back in the day. When I bought like 30, 40 bottles of baby oil, that's not no 1,000 though. It's crazy. All right. Last but not least, we're gonna talk about and which, this is probably, honestly, I think that this is probably in some way, shape, or form related to the whole P. Diddy situation. But we've seen such a mass exodus of CEOs stepping down lately, and nobody can understand why. All these CEOs is like, man, I'm up out of here. But not just in the music industry, in all kinds of places. Let's check it out.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got some big news from the music industry. It seems like there's a mass exodus of CEOs retiring. What's going on? Let's dive in. First up, Randy Goodman, the chairman and CEO of Sony Music Nashville, just announced his retirement. He's had an incredible career spanning 35 years. He's been at the helm of Sony Music Nashville since 2015. And during his time there, he's fostered the careers of some massive country stars like Luke Combs and Kane Brown. Goodman has definitely left a mark on the music industry, but he's not the only one stepping down. Over at Warner Music Group, Stephen Cooper is also saying goodbye. Cooper has been CEO since 2011 and has seen the company through some significant changes, including its IPO in 2020. His leadership has been pivotal in navigating the ever-evolving music landscape. And it doesn't stop there. Universal Music Group is also seeing a big change. Lucian Grange, the chairman and CEO, has announced he'll be stepping down at the end of the year. Grange has been with UMG for over 30 years, and under his leadership, the company became the largest music company in the world, representing artists like Taylor Swift and Drake. So why are all these music industry bigwigs stepping down? It seems like a mix of factors. For many, it's simply time to pass the torch. After decades of leading some of the biggest music companies, they're ready to enjoy a well-deserved retirement. Additionally, the music industry is changing rapidly. With the rise of streaming services and new technologies, there's a need for fresh perspectives and innovative thinking. These changes require new leaders who can navigate the digital landscape and continue to drive growth, but there might be more to the story. Some speculate that recent high-profile celebrity trials, like those involving figures such as P. Diddy Combs, could be influencing these decisions. For instance, Goodman's work with Sony Music Nashville has created a solid foundation for the next generation of music executives. Similarly, Grange's vision has cemented Universal's position at the top of the industry. As these CEOs step down, there's a lot of excitement about who will take their place. The music industry is always evolving, and new leadership will bring fresh ideas and hopefully continue to push the boundaries. So to wrap it up, we're seeing a shift in the music industry's leadership. These retirements mark the end of an era, but also the beginning of a new chapter. It's an exciting time for music fans as we watch how these companies continue to evolve and adapt. Thanks for tuning.
Now, do we think that these executives stepping down has anything to do with Sean Combs? Maybe. It's quite possible. I mean, they definitely were in cahoots with him. They definitely doing the same things that he was doing. Because that's what we're thinking that all these rich people are doing nowadays. Specifically the black ones. But, I mean, it's just not only in the music industry. I mean, we've talked about it several weeks about the automotive executives that have jumped ship over the last couple of months. There's like 10, 20 of those that have done that. The Nike CEO, John Donahue, is stepping down. I think that Lyles guy that works with P. Diddy, he's going to be stepping down. Kevin Lyles, I think his name is. Everybody's stepping out of these positions. And we have to ask why. Why? They made billions of dollars, millions and billions of dollars, working in the music industry, working in the automotive industry. The flow of money wasn't going to stop. Why are they stepping down? Why are they trying to leave these positions? Are they trying to get out of the way of something that they see coming? That would make a lot of sense now, wouldn't it? I mean, specifically for the music CEOs, they are probably in fear of all of things that's going to come out of the whole P. Diddy situation. It's going to not only could affect those people who are dealing with the freak-off situation, but of course it's going to start to dig into how he was doing his music industry work, how he's conducting business with these CEOs to make the industry go. And if some of those things are questionable, and then the people he was working with, the acts they were doing are going to be questionable as well. So that's going to put all these other CEOs in the line of fire. And if they were doing something wrong, which dollars and donuts they probably were if they were dealing with P. Diddy Combs, then they're going to get in trouble as well. So why not get out when the getting is good? Step down, find you a remote place, or head over to Bali and chill out. Because you're rich. You can buy you a house over in Jamaica or some extraditional country that, you can't be brought back on some crazy charges like P. Diddy or Russell Simmons, for that matter. We all strive to be these rich people. We all strive to have billions of dollars. And we all strive to be, uber successful. But when you get there, sometimes you have to do some crazy shit to get there. Are you willing to do all the crazy shit that these people probably did to get to where they are or where they were? Because they're getting kicked out. Or they stepping down because they smart. Some of them got there and they got there because they were smart, and that's why they stepping down, because they're smart and they want to get out the way. But we just have to understand that once you get to certain positions and once you get a certain position of power, and once you get certain amounts of power, your ultimate morality has to kick in. Your ultimate goodness of self has to kick in to avoid this type of thing. Maybe you were doing freak-offs before you got millions and billions of dollars, but I highly doubt it. Who could have the funds to do all these kind of freak-off things before you became rich? And once you became rich, you decided you wanted to indulge. And it's like that old saying about college, once you go to college you can have fun, but you shouldn't have too much fun. And let's face it, P. Diddy was having way too much fun, bro. And now he's paying for it. And now everybody seems to be paying for it. So, let me go get y'all up out of here. It was a pleasure as always. Please, please, please understand, guys, that what's happening is, specifically this P. Diddy situation, it is them showing you something over here while they do something over there. This is just a smoke screen. They don't want you to pay attention to something else. More than likely, it's the whole political situation that's going on. They want you to pay more attention to this silly P. Diddy situation than that. They want you to pay more attention to the P. Diddy situation instead of paying attention of the people that are talking about going to war against us. They want you to pay more attention to that than all the job losses. It's just another thing that they're using to get you to look over there while they do shit over there. Okay? So just pay attention. Please prioritize this shit correctly, because this P. Diddy shit, man, is just a smoke screen. It's just a way to get your mind off of something that it really should be on, okay? Alright, I'm your boy Chris C. Pups Rock. Thanks for tuning to another edition of the Car Concierge. So please like, share, subscribe, and I'll check you out next week. Peace.